Today we're going to talk about um, our latest webinar class, which is called Table Talking. Table Talking is very different than a normal um therapy. So uh, Goita is going to interview Jack if she can get it together, and then we'll just let it hang out, right, Goito? Right, Goito?
Where did table talking come from?
It started with my licensing as a body worker in the mid 1980s, when the state of Washington was establishing licensing rules for people who do hands on caregiving. Uh, and the massage schools were told that they could not teach verbal therapy. So, because the psychotherapy community basically said, that's not your realm. Your people are not trained to do verbal therapy. The other thing that happened is that the medical community said, you cannot teach your students to diagnose or to prescribe. If they're doing either one of those, they're encroaching on the medical world, and they're not trained to do that. So most body workers were trained to do their hands-on work that they were doing without doing verbal interaction with their client, without doing giving them homework that they prescribed for the client to do because it sounded too much like medicalese, or even diagnoses. So there's many things that have come out over the years from those limitations that were imposed on the bodywork world. So where did it come from? Was I felt like body workers needed a way to interact with their clients verbally that followed exactly what is happening in the client's body and with the interaction with the client. So that's part of where table talking came from.
So is that also the reason you create that class?
Yeah, directly. Because I felt that it was inappropriate and wrong for the other caregiving professions to decide what was right and what is not right for a profession that was really just becoming a real licensed profession, not just in the state of Washington, but all over the United States. So I felt that there needed to be a way for verbal communication to happen during the session, and for another kind of communication to happen during the session, and that is direct communication between the client and the body worker. Well, the way most people were trained in massage school is the client comes in, you do a intake, you get a story from the client about what's been going on, and you may even get a prescription from a doctor about what they think is going on. And then you go to work. And when you go to work, you're working, and the client is sometimes with you, sometimes not. Very often the clients would go to sleep. Then they feel much better at the end of the session. You book another session with them, and so it goes, bam, 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 one after another until they find a different body worker, or until they have completed the prescription that you got from a doctor or from a psychotherapist. So that's the beginning. I felt really strongly inside that there was a legitimate way for a dual interaction between the client and the practitioner throughout the session, and that's where we're going